Okay. The reading today, I quote from the reading, "Those who see a radical difference between the paths of action and meditation should understand this distinction. To serve in the right spirit is necessary, for only thereby can we overcome our karmic tendencies toward restless activity. The important thing is that the spirit be always inwardly focused, that in everything we do, we act in loving service to God." Unquote. That the spirit be always inwardly focused, that in everything we do, we act in loving service to God. And one of the ways to develop that is the 8 manifestations of God. Help us stay inwardly focused. Now I'm going to base my talk on a talk given by Asha. She's the colony leader in Palo Alto for the Palo Alto community. And this particular talk is on YouTube. And if you go to YouTube and at the second page there, if you turn your page, what does it say? It says, "How to receive spiritual power from your teacher." If you do a search on that, you can find this talk. And it starts about an hour in. But the whole talk, which is 2 hours and 19 minutes, is very good. But what I'm talking about today starts about maybe a little before an hour in. I lived in Palo Alto for about 22 years, so I got to listen to Asha talk a lot about different things. And still, she resonates with me, and this particular talk I really enjoyed. Now, she says in the talk that God has not abandoned us, and our guru is always helping us. We may not be able to feel it, but it is a fact. It is a fact that this is happening all the time. Master is always putting in front of us just that energy, which is our next step. This is real. You may not believe it, or you may believe it, but it's real and it's intimate and it's personal to each one of us. We'll talk more about that as we get into this, about our frequency and our dharma, our own personal dharma. She says that a definition of dharma for an individual needs to be as inwardly defined as possible, so it will always work in all circumstances. Isn't that interesting? The definition of dharma for an individual needs to be inwardly defined as possible, inwardly defined as possible, so it will always work in all circumstances. This is where the 8 manifestations of God come in. Staying in tune with one of the 8 manifestations of God, to Asha's experience, is the best way to stay in tune with our own internal definition of dharma. Master's vibration, the vibration of Jesus, of Swamiji, it's a frequency in the universe and it's always there. And what they are literally doing in and out, her words are better than mine, in and out of their bodies. By the way, I'm not plagiarizing here, I'm just giving her all the credit. What the masters are doing in and out of their bodies is projecting a vibration of consciousness with enough force that we will perceive that vibration. Whether we perceive it by looking at a photograph, by being in a room with Swami Kriyananda when he was here, by listening to a recording, by suddenly feeling it in ourselves, we will receive a vibration and will recognize that vibration to have the potential to magnetize our own. And we will also then be attracted to that vibration. Many people come in and out of this temple, came in and out of the temple in Palo Alto, at the temple in the village, Other people came in and out of Swami's life and neither recognized the vibration nor were they attracted to it. It just wasn't theirs. They either went and found another teacher or got into sports or something that resonated with them. They just did something completely different because it was the next step for them. Now, she says, Master is constantly projecting his vibration of self-realization, and we are nothing but sound vibrations. So part of us is vibrating with that, and a part of us is vibrating dissonance. And so we sense this vibration and we try to merge into it. And as much as we are aligned with that vibration, to that extent are we able to get into it, to go into it. And to the extent that we're still afraid of this and holding on to this and worried about that and concerned about this, we will merge this much and then those things will pull us out of tune with it. And then she goes on to say, it's exactly like singing. Now I can talk. She gives an example, which is very good, and you should listen to it. For me, I have a certain vibration of Swami's music that comes through me. And if I sing with another person that I know, like at the village, that has that vibration like that, when we sing together, it's like threefold. Because we're tuning into that vibration, and his vibration comes from a very high place, and we're able to tune into that, and it's very uplifting. Okay? Now, some of the aspects of God, the 8 aspects of God, are very easy to feel in his music. I will sing a couple for you. One of them, Mother of Wisdom, has a very nice feeling of love, and then at the end of a couple phrases, a very nice feeling of peace. Okay. Mother of wisdom, mercy and grace, grant us thy vision, grant us thy peace. You can feel love in that, and you can feel the peace in the words at the very end there. Those are 2 of the manifestations of God, right? Okay, another one. Energy or power. This one has a lot in it. This is from the point of view of God. So you have to imagine that he's singing through you. You're not him, he's singing through you. So this is big. This is my Son, in whom I am well pleased. Naught of himself remains, naught but the true light. Heed well his words, the way he shows is my way. All who would find the truth, walk where he leads. You can feel the power in that comes through in that song. So singing for her, and then this is for Asha, it's not her thing, is if she stands next to a person at the village she sings with, Lisa Powers, she can get into that attunement. And if she is not standing too close to her, she says all of a sudden she hears other melodies or something and it takes her out of attunement. Okay? This is what happens a lot in the choir. This is a plug for the choir, by the way. is not everybody in the choir is great singers, but they really get uplifted by the music. So they come in, they stand next to someone, holds a part, and they can tune in and match that vibration and project it. And then everybody, because of the more people that are involved, the more that vibration can come through. And they can share, the director shares his vibration, and they bring their vibration in, and everybody is uplifted by the consciousness of the song. Okay? That's enough about singing. That's a plug if anybody's interested in the choir. So to be receptive spiritually is to match our vibration to the Guru's vibration. The Guru's vibration is always the same. It's ours that is always fluctuating. The Guru's vibration has nothing to do with any of the details of your life. It has to do with your frequency in the midst of all the details of your life. And all the karmic messes that we've made in the incarnation and all the ones before, you just don't want to think about it because it's enormous. The frequency, this frequency is what she calls your Dharma. Your Dharma. And it takes a lot of self-honesty to work from there. Now, I'm not going to get into that. I mean, this is a little subtler, but if you listen to the talk, it'll resonate with you. It's very, very good. Now, back to the 8 manifestations of God, which are love, joy, peace, calmness, power or energy. She likes to use the word energy because it's a little easier to understand. Light, sound, and wisdom. Now, I'm going to read through your handout just so we're getting in tune here. There are 8 aspects in which God can be experienced. To experience Him as light, meditation brings calmness to the mind, purifying it, and giving it clarity. The more deeply one contemplates the inner light, the more one perceives all things as made of that light. To experience God as sound is to commune with the Holy Ghost or Om or the cosmic vibration. When you are immersed in Om, nothing can touch you. Om raises the mind above the delusions of human existence into the pure skies of divine consciousness. Peace is an early meditative experience. Peace, like a weightless waterfall, cleanses the mind of all anxiety and care, bestowing heavenly relief. Calmness is another divine experience. This aspect of God is more dynamic and more powerful than that of peace. Calmness gives the devotee power to overcome all the obstacles in his life, even in human affairs. The person who can remain calm under all circumstances is invincible. Love is another aspect of God, not personal love, but love infinite. Those who live in ego consciousness think of impersonal love as cold and abstract. But divine love is all-absorbing and infinitely comforting. It is impersonal only to the sense that is utterly untainted by selfish desire. The unity one finds in divine love is possible only to the soul. It cannot be experienced by the ego. Joy is another aspect of God. Divine joy is like millions of earthly joys crushed into one. The quest for human happiness is like looking around for a candle while sitting outdoors in the sun. Divine joy surrounds us eternally, yet people look to mere things for their happiness. Mostly, all they find is relief from emotional or physical pain. But divine joy is blazing reality. Before it, earthly joys are but shadows. Wisdom is intuitive insight, not intellectual understanding. The wisdom between human and divine wisdom is that the human mind comes at things indirectly from without. The scientist, for example, investigates the atom objectively, but the yogi becomes the atom. Divine perception is always from within. From within alone can a thing be understood in true essence. Power, finally, is the aspect of God which creates and runs the universe. Imagine what power it took to bring the galaxies into existence. Masters manifest some of that power in their lives. The expression, gentle Jesus, meek and mild, describes only one side of Jesus' nature. The other side was revealed in the power with which he drove the money changers from the temple. Just think what magnetism it took to combat single-handedly all those men, entrenched as they were in habits and desires that they were sanctioned by ancient custom. Okay, I'm going to get back into the talk now. Love, joy, peace, calmness, energy or power, light, sound, and wisdom. By definition, if you're in one of those 8 manifestations, you're aligning yourself to the masters, the power that they radiate. Asha says, once I got it in my head that this is what my dharma was, I could at least move towards one of them. And again, I reiterate that she finds this is the best way that she has found to stay in tune with her spiritual teacher. She goes on to say, wisdom is very helpful because maybe I'm not all that calm and there's no peace in my life. I may not have a lot of energy at the moment, but wisdom would be the wisest way to respond to a total collapse of my life situation. Wisdom might be just to say, well, these things happen and this too shall pass, which is entirely different than creating a whole another layer of confusion based on the fact that why is this happening to me? Why is God not listening to me? Well, he's not. So there you have it. That's Asha. If you ever have been counseled by her, that's her. Well, he's not. So there you have it. God's not listening to me. I'm presently abandoned and I have no sense of God. But what would be the wisest way to respond to the situation? Patient endurance. And even in my present state of absolute limitless despair, just keep a piece of me remembering that everything passes. Keep a piece of me remembering everything passes. And you might be able to talk yourself out of it in the moment, and you might be able to talk yourself out of it in the moment. But just a little piece of you, just one of the 8 manifestations, this one being wisdom, will help you stay in tune with that. So what would be the wisest way to respond to the state of complete delusion? It would be to remember that yesterday was different and tomorrow might also be different, and maybe all you have, but you see it's still there. Or calmness. I lost my place. Or calmness, or respond with energy. Energy is one that she likes to use a great deal. Sometimes when I can't do something wise, I at least do something not lazy. Like if projects I have been working on or something needs to be done for reasons of my own, which are always unfathomable even to me, I'm speaking from Asha's point of view, though it's for me also, I don't really feel like doing it. I can still not lie in bed and watch a movie. Or before I lie in bed, I can at least put a load of laundry in, making a little effort towards the 8 manifestations, which is putting out a little energy. Just put out a little bit of energy, and then here I am watching a movie again instead of X, Y, Z that I ought to be doing, but at least I can remain calm about the fact I'm not as good as I hoped to be, that my discipline is not as yet what I want it to be, so I can manifest calmness. I'm not manifesting wisdom, but I can at least be calm about my ignorance. So you're still revolving around the 8 manifestations, even though you're struggling. But you see how it works. It is a way to keep your mind circling around the 8 manifestations of God to help us stay in tune. And joy, of course, is tremendously useful, because when you lose joy, you lose everything. So here she says, here I am, and I'm going to go dancing tonight instead of staying home and doing what I know I ought to. I can at least be joyful. At least be a bubble of bright light to everyone I meet. And at least be a cheerful presence in the midst of all of this. And lift a few other people's spirits. And your actions may not be wise, but at least they're energetic and joyful. Okay? So receptivity. What makes us receptive? Receptive is now, the way that relates there is that by staying with the 8 manifestations, you're still keeping an open heart and trying to get in tune with the grace of the masters. And then she talks about receptivity. So receptivity, what makes us receptive? Receptive is to be on the same wavelength and bearing in mind that Master can match and come all the way to where we are. Staying in that vibration, then the Master can come to you, to wherever, if you're in bed watching a movie, but at least you put some laundry in, you can come there. Okay? All right? We'll go on here. There's a story in the Miracles, an answered prayer book of hers, called Loved and Protected. And a man writes, you may not think you can be a devoted disciple of Master and a drug addict at the same time, he said, but I'm here to say you can be. And he just made that as a statement, and that was that. And he also said one of my favorite quotes of Master, this is Asha speaking, is if you're going to do it anyway, bring me with you. This is what Master said, bring me with you if you're going to do it anyway. So he said, I took Master to a lot of unsavory places. I don't know if he enjoyed himself or not, but I took him at his word. So the 8 manifestations of God, you all have your hand out there, okay? If you want to listen to Asha's talk, at the bottom of there, you can figure out how to access it. It's a little before an hour in. If you listen to it, you'll find a lot of deeper stuff in there that is very resonates a lot with me. This handout will be helpful to study the 8 manifestations of God and help keep them in front of you and help you to tune into the Master's vibration, which is always there.